everybody. Welcome to Born TV. I'm Maria Oliva from the Cape Cod Canal Region Chamber of Commerce, and I'm the president and CEO. I got Paula Taylor with me. Paula, what's your title again?
It's Member Services and Event Director.
All right, because I can never remember her title. It's too long. I gave her a title, and it's way too long. And we got Jane Sorenti from Sorenti Properties here. How are you, Jane?
Hi, thank you, Marie.
I like the idea that you got your logo, Sorenti Properties, on your mask.
I figured
You
I might
know?
as well advertise if I have to keep my mouth covered. the whole
Right.
time.
Right.
That's great.
Somebody actually bought it for me for a gift. I go, that's a great idea. And then all of a sudden, everybody had, their company logo on their mask.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Which, why not?
Yeah,
Right.
that's great.
So,
Well, this is the first in a series of having member spotlight series for members of the chamber who contribute to economic development and have a small business. And many of you might know that we're located at 70 Main Street in the Railroad Station building in Buzzards Bay. We cover Bourne, Sandwich, and Wareham. We're 3 towns primarily, and we have members along the Upper Cape in southeastern Massachusetts. So we have about 550 business members who work with the chamber. We work with them to try to highlight what they do, hold their hands, try to give different areas of expertise and resources. We do economic development, transportation. We offer free concerts in the park, Cape Cod Canal Day, a lot of events and programs and activities, workshops and training for businesses. So we really like to keep busy, as I'm sure you do, Jane. So
always busy.
tell me a little bit about yourself growing up in Sagamore Beach, and then we'll get to your business after that.
So I grew up in Sagamore Beach, as you know. My mom lived in Pecasset. My dad lived in Sagamore, so we settled in Sagamore Beach when they got married. I've lived there all my life, except for 10 years. I moved to Falmouth. I went to work at a real estate office in Falmouth and lived there for 10 years. So I went to the Hoxie School. I went to
Yeah,
Bourne
we
High
all went to the
School.
Hoxie School.
Yep, even my dad. I was trying to remember if my grandfather went to the Hoxie School. I can't remember
Yeah.
if it went that far back, but so.
Let me just mention the Hoxie School is in Sagamore Beach, which is still there.
Yep.
In the 1900s, and my mother and a lot of the people in Sagamore Beach went to
school.
Hoxie Community. It was named after Ella F. Hoxie, who was my 4th grade teacher. She was fantastic.
Mine
so,
too.
Anyway,
Mhm.
yeah, yours
Mine
too.
too.
Yeah. So anyway, go ahead.
So I went to Sacred Heart for a little bit, but I did graduate from Bourne High School. When I graduated, I've always been in some kind of real estate job related kind of thing. My ex-husband and I owned a construction company together. Before that, I was working for the largest private adjustment company in the world. It was owned by United Airlines, and I was in Boston. So, that goes along. It was an adjustment company. So, and then construction, and then once I got divorced, all I knew was houses. So I always had my real estate license since I've had it for I think almost 40 years. And I moved to Falmouth, worked for Foley Real Estate on Main Street, which was great for me because he was such a great mentor.
Great.
He's fabulous, a great salesperson. And then all of the big companies took over all of the small companies. There were a lot of small companies in Falmouth and Bourne, and the bigger companies gobbled them up. And when everybody's going north, I'm going south. I'm always going the road less traveled. So I like the feel of a small, and that's why I liked Foley. It was a small mom and pop type. He was there for 40 years. He's still there. It's Engel Volkers now. That's who they went with. So I had sold my house in Falmouth quite by chance. The next door neighbor just knocked on the door and said, "Hey, I want to buy your house." It's every broker's dream. No commission, no showings. And he probably overpaid me. And this is before the real estate market went gangbusters. It was still, after 2008. This was in 2013, 14. 2014. And the market still hadn't bounced back. It was still a little bit slow. The prices hadn't come back. So my mother I sold my house and I was looking for a rental, and the rentals have always
Crazy.
been crazy.
Yeah.
And they were back then. So it was over $2,000, which wasn't even my mortgage payment for, a rental. So my mom knew I was looking, and she said, "Why don't you come stay with us?" So she was having knee surgery. So I said, "You know what? I've worked my whole life. I've worked since I was 14, 13, 14, whenever you could, get that work permit. I worked at the snack bar for my parents. And so I never really had any time off. I always worked. So I said, you know what, I'm going to relax a little bit. I had sold my house. My last sale was in February. I said, I'm going to have some time with my parents, which was great. My parents are fabulous. I know most people wouldn't want to live with their parents. I adored it. It's great.
Oh, that's
Who
wonderful.
wouldn't? You get your laundry done. You get supper,
How about the cooking?
everything, cooking,
Yeah.
everything. So they're great. So then my grandfather's house came up for sale in Pecasset, which is where my mom grew up. And I was showing it to clients. I started to work again a little bit. I would work here and there. I didn't completely stop working, but I just wasn't hustling like I was before. So I was showing it and to one of my clients, and my cousin, who had it on the market with a different broker, mind you, was there. The broker wasn't there, but he was there. And so while I was showing it, he was listening to me sell it to her. And after I left, I called him up and I said, gee, I think, I'm not supposed to call you because you're represented by a broker, but I'm your cousin. I just want to tell you, I'm going to call you broker and put in an offer, and I'm going to buy it myself. He goes, gee, Jane, I listened to you sell it to your client, and I went back to my sisters and said, I think I'll buy you two out. I'm going to buy it. And I was like, oh, no.
Oh, now there's competition.
So on Christmas Eve, I got a call from his broker, and he said, if you're still interested, he'll like to sell it to you. Something's changed. I said, I'm definitely interested. So happy I cried,
Oh, nice
And,
gift.
yeah, it was awesome. So once that happened, I said, okay, Mom, I have to go live over here. And we rehabbed the whole house. And it got us into not just selling real estate, but now we're building houses also. So that kind of got something started. I mean, in my past life, I did that together with my ex-husband. But so besides selling houses now, we're building them, we're remodeling them, and a lot of our business has gone that way. So we're building a couple big houses in Sagamore Beach right now.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome.
One close to you.
Yeah?
And
Wow.
so...
As long as it's not in my backyard.
No, almost close though. But so, it's evolved. We've taken different turns. We're still listing. We list commercial
awesome.
property, some rentals, and just a little bit of everything. So,
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah.
How long have you, Sorenti Property Jane, how long have you been in business? You've been doing it for years, but how long is...
Since I opened the shop in Katamit, we're going on 6 years
Yeah.
that I've
6
been over
years.
there.
Oh,
I
good.
love that spot.
Yeah,
it's great.
that's great. What's the address?
1379 Route 28A. It's right across from the Daily Brew.
Oh my God, the
Yeah.
Daily Brew in Katamit is a great
Such a
coffee
bad
and
spot to
sandwich
be
place.
by.
Oh my God, they have the best sandwiches,
do.
coffee.
Yeah, they're awesome. There's always a line out the door too. And
Yeah.
I have to call and just go over and get it, because in the summertime, even
It is
before
crazy.
COVID, the
Yeah.
line out the door.
Right,
So
wow.
I love the spot. I love being there because that was my mother's end of town. We're always, my dad and his family just were always over in Sagamore, so we identify, I think, with that more because that's where we lived and
Right.
But my grandfather actually worked on the train bridge. My mom's dad actually worked on the railroad bridge, and he
Wow.
had fallen down those stairs and was just disabled for a long time. So the house that I'm in
Wow.
now is where, he was. So it's kind of special to me to be over
Right.
in that part of town, because my mother's whole family's from Katamit area.
Right,
So
right.
it's kind of nice. I feel home there, even though You know,
Right.
Sagamore Beach isn't that far away, but
Absolutely
it's
not.
when you're working every day and you're running around and you're showing real estate. I buzz by my mother's house so many times and say, I should stop, I should stop.
I know, but you're going from one place to
Yeah.
another.
Yeah.
But you're so
But you
busy.
cover, like, what
Vast
area?
area.
I mean,
I'll go-
Sagamore Beach is a village in Bourne, so
Yeah.
people in Sagamore, but obviously,
So
you
my
cover what territory?
Bourne, Falmouth, Mashpee, Sandwich are my
Okay.
areas that,
Mhm.
you know, you're mostly working in because we're so closely connected. But I sold a house in Ware, Massachusetts, the first question was, where is where? It's up
Yeah.
by Amherst, you know. So I've sold a house out there. I sold a house
Wow.
in East Boston. I sold a house this past year in P-Town. And so
Mhm.
I'll go anywhere with you. And because of the technology today, it's
It's
pretty
capable,
easy
yeah.
to
Mhm.
Do
find
that.
the comps and what the house is worth. And
Mhm.
so it's really pretty easy.
Yeah.
So, and it's fun. You're going
Mhm.
somewhere else, it's fun. You know, even on the
Right.
Cape, you're so busy working in your own little area. You know, to go up to Provincetown is a blast, you
Mhm.
know, to get that opportunity is.
So do
nice.
some houses show better than others?
Well, so
I always think about, they say take all your personal things out of the house.
you should declutter. You
Yeah.
should definitely declutter, and they tell you to take your personal belongings out because when people go in to look at your house, they'll stop and look at all your pictures because of course they're curious. Why are they selling? Who is
Mhm.
this person? Does this house have good karma? Like that.
Mhm.
But yeah, you should lose all the clutter, and that's hard to do when you're living there. So
Mhm.
I'm gonna be listing something in Sagamore Beach that's a family member's. And I said, you have to put all these pictures, you have to put all the stuff away.
Oh, even the personal pictures on the walls?
You
in
should.
your living room, or?
If they're
Yeah.
You're supposed to make
family
it,
photos.
yeah, make it so
Yeah.
they can visualize themselves
Yeah.
living there.
Sometimes I think if it's gonna be, if you have a family photo that's above the fireplace and it's gonna leave a big hole in the,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
Mm.
decor, I wouldn't do it, but a little bit,
Yeah.
you should, yeah.
Mm.
I would think it's a little intimidating for the person selling their home if they're not used to it. What's the process? You have to go through the process with them, make them feel comfortable. Same thing with the buyer. You've got to work that fine line between the buyer and the seller. Talk a little bit about that.
So when I list your house, you're gonna be my new best friend. We're gonna talk every day.
Love that.
You're gonna call me every day. What about this? What about that?
Mhm.
And just, you know, we know the process.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, everybody's different. And so it's, you know, customer service industry.
Right.
The customer's always right. You have to put it to people in a, you know, find your opportunity, I guess, to squeeze in the information that they need to know.
Mhm.
You know, I mean, it's hard to direct, some people don't listen as well as others
Mhm.
about, you know, because they see everything on the internet today.
I know it.
So-
That's what how does,
Yeah.
because everything is virtual now.
Yeah.
So do you find that to be competing with you?
So, yeah, I have a lot of thoughts on that. But
That's
so
a good
there's,
question, though.
You know,
Yeah.
everybody knows there's Zillow, there's Redfin,
Zillow, right.
and
Mhm.
the biggest one was Zillow. Now Redfin's coming into it. There's Modo.
Mhm.
There's Realtor.com. Realtor.com is a little bit of the older one. Zillow kind of took over the MLS system from the brokers and the sales agent, and then they sold us back the leads, which was aggravating. And I subscribed to Zillow for a long time, and then I said, you know what, I'm not doing this anymore. The leads are usually not that great. Some people, other agents might like it. I just personally don't like it. The thing I don't like is it's a computer program and it pulls from everywhere.
Yeah.
So it pulls from the registry of deeds, it pulls from the town hall, it pulls from, you know, what's sold. So when I went to sell my house in Falmouth, it had the, you know, they give it a Zestimate, they call it. So it was $654,000. If my house was worth that back then, I would have gone in a second, you know, and it wasn't, because it was comping it out with something that was across the streets,
Mhm.
across the street, and it was on the water. So my house wasn't worth what that house was worth.
Oh, so it doesn't take everything into consideration.
It's not boots on
yeah.
the ground, it's just a computer program. It doesn't know, hey, I live in
Right.
Falmouth Heights, I'm on the water. Hey, I live in, Falmouth Heights, I'm over across the street. So that's the reason. Do I consult it? I do. I look at it when I'm going to list somebody's house. I look at all factors. You know, what does this person say? What is two heads are better than one? But I know the area, so I can go, this doesn't apply, that, you know, like that.
Right,
But-
because you're familiar with the area. The most beautiful home, I mean, you could have a
Yeah.
drainage problem or something.
Right,
You don't
yeah,
know.
yeah.
And
There's
the
nothing
local
like,
permits and
yep,
the town, the occupancy permits, the inspections and all that. That's another whole can of worms.
yeah. That's where
Yeah.
I differ from other real estate
Yeah,
companies.
tell us how unique you are.
I differ because I have a construction background. So when I show somebody a house and we go into the house, the first thing they'll do is look at it and go, these windows are gonna cost me $50,000. And I'm like, no, they're not. I just put a whole house full of windows into a house for $23,000, so you can
Wow.
do it too.
Wow.
So it's more realistic,
you
yeah.
know, we just did a septic system, and I'll give a little shout out. It's Jerry Ellis' son, Brett Ellis,
Yes.
done right estimation.
Yeah.
So I sold a house on 28A in West Falmouth, and there they had another quote. I won't mention that name, but it was about $25,000 for a 5-bedroom septic system, and Brett was 11. So
Wow.
you know, that's the
That's
difference.
just amazing. Now, you gotta wonder.
Throw a dart.
That's such a large discrepancy.
It's unbelievable
Wow.
what you can be charged from, and that's another thing. With our building process, the reason we're different is we have what I like to call a transparent building style. So we let you pay the subcontractors directly. So that if I get a bill from a subcontractor, and I've had them say it to me, what do you want me to add to the bill? And I say, I don't want you to add anything to the bill. You bill that person what you would bill me. So if I get a tile guy to come in and he charges me $5,000 to tile your bathroom and your shower, I'm not adding $1,000 or $2,000 to make a profit off of it. And we let the client pay it directly so they know whatever
no
discount
padding, yeah.
we get, you'll get it too. And I do that with my homes that I list and my sellers or my buyers. I have people, I just had somebody buy their own house directly from a seller and go, sorry, but I'm gonna buy it directly. And I was like, you know what, I'm happy for you. It's where you wanna be. He actually still paid me because he said, you know, I spent a lot of time. But those people call me after the sale. Who should pump my septic system? Who should do my windows? Who should do my
Right.
floors? I'll go call this guy or call that guy, or here's
Yeah.
2 or 3 names.
Well,
or-
you know, it's interesting because this is what we do as a chamber. It's all about referrals and getting business out to your local members, business members. So this is what we do a lot. We like to do that.
Yeah.
I love the idea that you've got your background in construction because you know if somebody needs a new water heater or they need something,
Yeah.
how you can help them through that,
Yeah.
where somebody else might not have that depth of
Yeah.
experience.
I'm really not a plumber, so I might not
No.
know if they, but I can look at it and get a pretty good idea, like this is a dinosaur. You can probably get rid of it, but, you know, somebody's home inspection will tell them all the details because, you know, we don't want to be liable for, you know, I'm not banging the nails, I'm the sales agent, but it is good to have that background and the people that you can call because you're giving them business elsewhere to, hey, can you come over and look at this real
Yeah.
quick? And it saves people a lot of money. So,
I got a big question. Why do you think the real estate industry went, wow,
isn't it crazy?
during a pandemic?
It's so
It's
crazy.
almost like if the pandemic wasn't happening, I just don't know if the real estate industry would be the way it is right
Well,
now.
so-
It's just, people don't understand, like, explain
Why
it.
did that happen?
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody has that
No,
answer.
probably nobody has that
I don't know
answer,
if
right.
anybody honestly really has that answer. So when I bought that house in 2014, I got in right under the wire. You probably don't remember, but we had a ton of snow between 2014 and 15 in the
Right.
winter. When so 2015, I started renovating that house. I wasn't even trying because I had just gotten back to work. I said, okay, I got to go back to work. I'm renovating this house. I'm going to need a lot of money. So right from the first bit of sunshine we got, the market went gangbusters in 2015. We were getting bidding wars. The first bit of sunshine, we were getting bidding wars, and that continued. It, you know, maybe it slowed a little, but it kept going and going and going. Then when this started, right, at the end of 2019 and the beginning of 2020, my first reaction was, oh no, the market was so good, this is going to kill it.
I know.
So we had a little bit of a, like,
Lull.
I was almost relieved. Like, I go, okay, I can take a nap for a month or so, right, and just have a little bit of downtime. And then I think a couple months went by, and it just started getting crazy because everybody wanted to move out of the city. And
Right.
down here.
I think that's the
best-
bigger factor.
That's the
Yeah.
biggest thing, is people were buying in these, you know, smaller places. So
Plus, they
New
were all
Hampshire was
home.
the
If they
same.
didn't like something about their house, they're ready to move on.
yeah. So it just got crazier and crazier. I still shake my head. I can't believe it when I look every day. There was just a sale up on Norris Road. It was it hasn't closed yet, so we don't know. But it was listed for $9.29. It was gone in 2 days. I looked at something the other day, average days on the market. There's 2 MLS systems, so in one of them it'll give you the stats when you list, you know, the listings, and it was 2.67 days on the market was the average day on the market, and the average price was 900 something thousand, because you got to realize they're taking there's a $12.5 million sale over in Wings Neck that just went under contract, and then there's a $130,000
So
trailer.
they throw that into the mix.
So they
yeah.
average it, but it's the prices are crazy. There's nothing on the market.
I know. And
Unbelievable.
next door to us, the asking price was, you know, XYZ number.
Yep, and it went
they
over.
got $37,000 more
Yeah.
than what they were asking for.
People are
Really?
loving it. Yeah.
And it's just happening, I mean, that's just in Sagamore
there's-
Beach area is what I know, but
Yeah.
I know you're hearing it
Everywhere.
all
Everywhere.
But,
And
you know, it's a deal to live in the town of Bourne.
Yeah, I think so.
The services you get,
Better than anywhere.
how come garbage pickup? Are you kidding me?
I know.
And the recycling program?
Yeah.
I love to see those blue bins all over everything.
The dump. Whenever I'm selling a house, I always say,
Yeah.
you might think it sounds crazy right now, but we have the best dump. And
I
you are
know,
going to
it's true.
appreciate that.
It's
Yeah. When you're a homeowner, you do. If you're fixing something or you need to take
It's
something.
the little things,
You
yeah.
need to pick up loom. I go down and get my loom and, you know, they have the best loom over there, you know, so, yeah, there's a
Great.
lot of, the guys plowing are great.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, it's a nice town.
Yeah, good. Well, we're gonna take a
One
few-
that I love.
Yeah,
Without a
yeah.
doubt.
Did you want to say anything more? Because we're gonna
No,
be
this
wrapping
was
up
very
pretty soon.
informative, Jane.
It is very informative.
Thank you.
I just think this is such a beautiful community, and
I do too.
the tax rate is low
It's
compared to
great.
other places where people live.
Yeah.
So when people talk about their taxes here, I said,
Mhm.
look at the services you get.
Yeah.
Look at the police and the fire, all included in your tax base.
Beach is
When you look at
beautiful.
your tax base, if you're paying all these extra fees for services on top of your taxes, you know, that's not such a good deal, but in Bourne, you don't have that. So we've got, and I know I'm just preaching to the choir.
No, well, people say it all the time when they're coming down from the city. You know, our tax rate is what, 10.50 something per thousand,
Right.
and they're coming from a place where it's 18. You know,
Right.
so without the
Right.
services.
Exactly.
So if you're going to list
exactly.
your house, call Jane. Give me
Right.
your number,
Sorenti
Jane.
Properties, give us the information, your phone number, your website.
So most of my clients call just my cell phone. It's 508-294-7971. And my website is, you could just Google SorentiProperties.com and
Okay.
it'll come up.
Okay, good.
So,
Good. Well, I appreciate you coming here today.
yes, thank you. It's fun.
Thanks, Jane.
Yeah,
It's fun
you're
to see you
a
guys.
nice
Yeah.
supporter of the chamber, and we appreciate that. And we wish you the best in your industry, and
Thank you.
hope you just keep on going. You know, you look like you love what you do.
I love what I do, and
Which
I love
isn't it
my
a great
town.
thing to love?
Yeah.
Paula, I know you work for me, but tell me how much you love to
I
work
do.
for
I have
us.
so much fun at the chamber. It's great.
All right. Okay. So don't
We have a lot
forget,
of laughs.
if you want any information, call us at 508-759-6000, CapeCodCanalChamber.org. Get all your information. about PPP loans and all kinds of information on the state and vaccinations and workshops and training. So,
Thank you.
all right,
you.
thank you, Jane.
Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.